Alright boys, so I finally finished my Frost Reader build, and with this build, if you play correctly, you can literally have infinite uptime on the Ice Tornadoes or the Blizzard from the Spore Warden skill tree, where you summon 3 Frost clones and do Frost ability damage over time. Now with this class, I did make a video a little bit ago talking about it. It wasn't fully complete, so now I just want to kind of go over what I did to round out the build. So first, let's go over our skill tree. The number one thing I was going for, and I mentioned this in the last video, was Blood of the Fallen. The Faymaker's remaining action skill cooldown is reduced by a percentage. If his action skill is currently active, restore a percentage of its duration instead. So this is going to play into the infinite uptime of the Frost clones. As long as I'm getting kills while it's active, it's going to stay up, and once it cools down or once I use it all, getting kills is going to make it come back faster. On top of that, I have 36 attunement, which leads to plus 26 skill cooldown. I also have max intelligence, so I'm just really trying to play into the skill cooldown a lot and the spell cooldown a lot. Now as for my gear, I also have things that are going to reduce the action skill cooldown rate. Like for example, I have this blue gear, which some of the blue gear is really crazy in this game, plus 12.4% action skill cooldown rate, and I believe, yeah, here it is right here on one of my rings, plus 8.4% action skill cooldown rate. And as you guys can see, both of my rings do ability damage, plus 13.2%, plus 13.2%. So I'm really trying to buff up that action skill. Now some of my weapons really play into the bonus damage I'm gonna get. Like for example, on action skill start, increase gun damage by 28%. And then based on whichever weapon I'm holding at the time, if I need fire damage, this legendary SMG will grant me plus 35% fire damage. And if I really need to do some nice boss damage, I got this insane legendary shotgun. It shoots arrows like an area of effect. It does use all the bullets in the magazine, but I can pump out some crazy damage because, as you guys can see, when I activate my action skill, it increases my frost damage by 35%. Now of course there is other, not necessarily rarities, but you can get like chaotic or volatile versions of the legendary weapons or the purple gear. I don't have any of those yet. In heck, this isn't even level 40, it's level 34. So if this was level 40, it can probably do even more bonus frost damage. This is what I have right now, and it's really carrying me through a lot of the end game content. So once I'm able to get to level 40, it'll be even better. Now I would say that this build doesn't necessarily have the most top tier DPS, but it does have really good crowd control. Because I have max frost efficiency, or at least with my skills, I can freeze things pretty easily with the frost clones and my ice spell, because once I hit the damage, they're going to become frozen, they're going to stay in place, and once they are frozen, I'm going to do more damage to them. So that's one of the benefits of this class, of this setup, is that you're going to freeze a lot of enemies and do bonus damage to those frozen enemies. And I guess I can do some pretty nice damage, because if they're frozen, I'm going to do more damage to them. And depending on which weapon I have in my hands at the time, I can do either bonus fire damage, bonus frost damage, or if I'm using one of my pistols, it's one of those guns that have cross bolts, it's going to do more damage because it's a frost weapon, and the crossbow to make it so they deal more damage. So there's some ways I can pump out some damage with this build, but I would say its main thing is definitely crowd control. And if you play it correctly, you can get your frost cyclones up for a very long time. Actually, there's been times where I'll activate it in the beginning of an encounter, and it'll last all the way through the end of the encounter, or until there's maybe like one enemy left or something like that. So it just depends on how you play, but honestly, I'm really loving this build. Now I have a couple of other builds in the works. I'm currently trying to work out a melee build with a Graveborn, and I also have a spell shot build in the works, although that's taking me some time because I remember I started a spell shot, but then I had to start over another one because I picked the wrong archetype, and I stopped them experimenting to do. Like, I'll admit, I'm still learning this game. I'm still learning what works and what synergizes with what. So some of the early builds I had and I tried out, they didn't really work out once I gained the knowledge of how these things work. But now I feel like I'm getting better at it, so my spell shot build is going to take a while, and I'm trying to work out another Brr Zerker and Clawbringer build, but that's going to be in the future. I'm still like in the very early levels of that one. So definitely stay tuned for more content, for more builds. I also do plan on streaming, so let me know what you guys think, because I want to get back into streaming, but my PC is kind of iffy. It's not the greatest PC in the world, but it can handle videos. I just don't know if I want to put it through the stress of streaming, at least not now. Maybe once I upgrade, it'll be a lot better, but I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think about me streaming again. I will be streaming again on YouTube. I did try to stream on Twitch, but I'm not really sure I want to be on that platform. I think YouTube is a better platform for me specifically. So again, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Deuces.